The sun climbed over the hills like a golden coin, rising from a giant's pocket. Marcus Wellington stood at his bathroom mirror, watching his reflection smile back at him. He was one of the richest men in the world. His house had 47 rooms. His cars cost more than most people would earn in their entire lives. Everything he touched turned to gold, or so he thought. Marcus tied his silk robe and walked down the hallway. His bare feet whispered against marble floors so shiny he could see his face in them. The morning felt perfect. Birds sang outside. The air smelled like fresh coffee from the kitchen downstairs. Everything was exactly as it should be. But then he noticed something strange. His bedroom door was open, just a crack, just enough to let a thin line of light escape into the hallway. Marcus always closed his door. Always. He was a man who liked things in their proper place. Doors closed, windows locked, secrets buried. He stopped walking. His heart began to beat a little faster. "Maria?" he called out. Maria was his housekeeper. Maybe she was cleaning his room early. "Is someone in there?" No answer. Marcus reached for the door handle. His hand trembled slightly, though he didn't understand why. He was safe in his own home. Guards watched every entrance. Cameras recorded every corner. Alarms would scream if a single window broke. Yet something felt wrong. The air tasted different, heavier, like the moment before a thunderstorm. He pushed the door open. What he saw made his breath catch in his throat like a fish caught in a net. Money, everywhere. Stacks of $100 bills rose from his desk like towers in the city. Green paper covered his bed in messy piles. More money spilled across the floor like autumn leaves. He recognized these bills. They came from his private safe, the one hidden behind the painting, the one with locks that only his fingerprints could open. But that wasn't the strangest part. Sitting in his leather chair, calm as morning mist, was a girl. She looked about 12 years old. She wore a simple gray uniform like the ones his cleaning staff wore. Her dark hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail. Her hands moved with quick, careful motions, counting bills with the speed of a bank machine. She didn't look up when he entered. She just kept counting. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Her voice was soft but clear, like a bell ringing in an empty church. Marcus felt his legs go weak. Who are you? How did you get in here?" The girl placed a stack of money down and finally looked at him. Her eyes were calm, almost bored, as if she'd been expecting him all along. "My name doesn't matter," she said. "What matters is what I found." "You're stealing from me," Marcus shouted. His fear turned to anger, hot and quick. "I'm calling security right now." He reached for his phone, but his pocket was empty. He left it charging in the bathroom. The girl shook her head slowly. "I'm not stealing anything, Mr. Wellington. I'm counting it. There's a difference." "Guards!" Marcus yelled toward the hallway. "Guards!" No one came. The girl tilted her head. "They can't hear you. I made sure of that." Ice water seemed to pour down Marcus's spine. "What do you want? Money? Take whatever you need and leave. I won't call the police." "I don't want your money," the girl said. She reached beside the chair and pulled out a brown envelope. It looked old and wrinkled, like it had traveled a long distance. "I want you to read this." She slid the envelope across the desk. Marcus didn't move. He stared at it like it might explode. "Open it," the girl said. Her voice wasn't mean or angry. It was patient, like a teacher waiting for a student to answer a question. With shaking hands, Marcus picked up the envelope. His name was written on the front, in handwriting he didn't recognize. He tore it open and pulled out a single piece of paper. 3 words were written in bold black ink. "You've been watched." Marcus's heart hammered against his ribs. "What is this? Some kind of joke?" The girl stood up from the chair. Even though she was small, she suddenly seemed larger than the whole room. "It's not a joke, Mr. Wellington. For 3 years, someone has been watching you, recording you, following your money, learning your secrets." "That's impossible," Marcus whispered. "I have the best security in the country. Cameras, alarms, bodyguards. You have security that keeps people out. the girl said. But what about the people already inside? Marcus felt the floor tilt beneath him. What are you talking about? The girl walked around the desk, her footsteps making no sound. Your safe, the one hidden behind a painting of the ocean. It opens with your fingerprint and a 6-digit code. The code is your daughter's birthday. 3, 1, 2, 0, 1, 4. Marcus's mouth went dry. How could you possibly? Your computer password, the girl continued, is Empire 2019, the year you made your first billion. Your offshore bank account in the Cayman Islands holds $17 million that the government doesn't know about. Each word hit Marcus like a punch. Stop. Please stop. But the girl didn't stop. You think walls and locks keep you safe. But someone has been inside your life this whole time. Watching. Recording. Waiting. Marcus stumbled backward until his back hit the wall. His perfect morning had shattered like glass. His perfect life suddenly felt like a house of cards in a windstorm. What do you want from me? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The girl looked at him with eyes that seemed far too old for her young face. The truth, Mr. Wellington. I want you to face the truth about who you really are. She reached into her pocket and pulled out another envelope. This one was sealed with red wax. This, she said, holding it up, is just the beginning. Marcus stared at the red wax seal on the envelope. It looked like a stamp from an old king's letter, the kind he'd seen in museums. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Where did you get that? He demanded, trying to sound brave, even though fear crawled up his throat like a spider. The girl set the envelope on the desk between them. Before I show you what's inside, let me tell you a story, Mr. Wellington. It's about a man who built a castle on sand. I don't want to hear stories. Marcus snapped. I want answers. How did you get into my house? Past my guards? Past my alarms? The girl smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile you give when you know something someone else doesn't. Your head of security is named Robert Chen. He's worked for you for 8 years. Every morning at 6 o'clock, he does a walk around the property. It takes him exactly 17 minutes. During those 17 minutes, the east entrance camera has a blind spot just for 43 seconds while it rotates. Marcus felt his stomach twist. Robert would never. I didn't say Robert helped me, the girl interrupted. I said I watched Robert. I learned his patterns, just like I learned yours. She walked to the window and looked out at the perfect gardens below. Every Tuesday you fire 3 employees. You call it keeping the company lean. Every Friday you have lunch with Senator Morrison, and you give him an envelope with $20,000 in cash. Every night at 10 o'clock, you check your secret accounts on your laptop, the ones your wife doesn't know about. Marcus's face went red, then white. You had no right. You're right, the girl said, turning back to face him. I had no right, just like you had no right to do what you did. She picked up the red envelope and broke the seal. Inside were photographs. She spread them across the desk like playing cards in a game. Marcus looked down and felt his heart stop. The first photograph showed a factory. His factory, but it was from years ago, before he'd painted it and fixed it up. In the picture, black smoke poured from the chimneys like dragons breathing poison into the sky. The second photograph showed a river. The water was brown and thick like chocolate milk, but Marcus knew it wasn't chocolate. It was chemicals, waste from his factory that he'd secretly dumped to save money. The third photograph showed people, a whole village of them, children with thin arms, mothers with tired eyes, fathers coughing into rags. They lived near that river. They drank from that river. No, Marcus whispered. No, no, no. I fixed all of that. I cleaned it up. That was 12 years ago. You fixed it, the girl agreed, after 23 people got sick, after 7 people died, after the government started asking questions. I paid them. Marcus shouted. I paid their medical bills. I gave money to their families. You gave them money to be quiet, the girl corrected. You gave them money to forget. But money doesn't bring back the dead, Mr. Wellington. Money doesn't heal poisoned lungs. Marcus grabbed the edge of the desk to steady himself. The room spun around him like he was on a terrible carnival ride. Who sent you? Who are you working for? The girl pulled out more papers from a bag Marcus hadn't noticed before. Do you remember a woman named Elena Vasquez? The name hit Marcus like cold water. Elena. He hadn't heard that name in years. She worked in your factory, the girl continued. She noticed the pipes leaking chemicals into the river. She told her supervisor. Then she told you. Marcus closed his eyes. He remembered. A thin woman with worried eyes standing in his office. There are children swimming in that water, Mr. Wellington, she'd said. Please, we have to stop this. You fired her the next day, the girl said quietly. You told everyone she was stealing. You made sure she couldn't get another job. You ruined her life because she told the truth. Business, Marcus muttered. It was just business. I had shareholders. I had responsibilities. Elena had a daughter, the girl said. Her voice was harder now, like stone. That daughter got sick from swimming in the river. The doctors said her kidneys were damaged. She needed expensive medicine. Medicine Elena couldn't afford because she had no job. Marcus looked up at the girl. Really looked at her for the first time. At her dark eyes. At the determined set of her jaw. At the way she stood like she carried the weight of the world on her small shoulders. You're her daughter, he breathed. You're Elena's daughter. The girl shook her head. No. Elena's daughter died 4 years ago. She was 9 years old. Her name was Sophia. The words hung in the air like smoke. Then who are you? Marcus asked. I'm the person she trusted with the truth before she died, the girl said. Elena spent her last years collecting evidence. Every photograph, every document, every secret you thought you buried. She gave them all to me. She pulled out a small black device from her pocket. It looked like a phone, but thicker. A red light blinked on its side. That's a recording device, Marcus said, his voice hollow. It's been recording since you opened the door, the girl confirmed. Every word you've said, every confession, every excuse. Marcus felt his legs give out. He slumped into the chair, suddenly feeling 1,000 years old. What do you want? Money? I can give you millions. Billions. Just name your price. The girl gathered up the photographs and documents. She placed them neatly back in a folder. Elena didn't send me here for money. She sent me here for something you can't buy. What? Justice. The girl pulled out one final envelope. This one was official looking, with government stamps and serious writing. She placed it in front of Marcus. What is this? He asked, afraid to touch it. A summons, the girl said. The Environmental Protection Agency. The Department of Justice. The families of the people who died. They all want to talk to you. And now they have evidence you can't deny. Evidence you can't buy your way out of. Marcus's hands trembled as he picked up the summons. The words blurred in front of his eyes. Court dates. Investigations. Possible criminal charges. His perfect life was crumbling like a sandcastle hit by a wave. How long have you been planning this? He asked weakly. 3 years, the girl said, since the day Sophia died. Elena made me promise to finish what she started. She made me promise that the truth would come out. She walked toward the door, her mission almost complete. Wait, Marcus called out. What happens now? The girl paused in the doorway. Now you face what you've done. No more hiding behind lawyers and money. No more silencing people who speak the truth. But I have power, Marcus said desperately. I have friends in high places. Senators, judges, people who owe me favors. The girl looked back at him one last time. Elena was just one woman. Sophia was just one little girl. But the truth doesn't care about power, Mr. Wellington. The truth always finds its way home. She stepped into the hallway. And your truth, she said, has finally arrived. Marcus sat alone in his bedroom, surrounded by towers of money that suddenly felt worthless. The recording device blinked its red eye at him from the desk, capturing his heavy breathing, his racing heart, his collapsing world. He grabbed his phone. He'd run back to get from the bathroom, and dialed his lawyer. Pick up, he muttered, pacing across the money-covered floor like a king walking to the ruins of his kingdom. Marcus, his lawyer's sleepy voice answered. It's 6 in the morning. What's wrong? Everything's wrong, David. Someone broke into my house. They have documents, photographs, recordings. They know about the factory, about the river, about Elena Vasquez. Silence stretched across the phone line like a rope pulled too tight. David, are you there? Marcus, his lawyer said slowly. Elena Vasquez. That case was closed 12 years ago. All settlements were signed. All paperwork sealed. How could anyone? I don't know how, Marcus shouted. But they have everything. A girl was sitting in my bedroom, counting my money like she owned the place. She knew my passwords, my safe codes, everything. A girl? What girl? How old? I don't know, 12? 13? But she talked like she was 30, like she'd been planning this forever. Marcus ran his hand through his hair. She said Elena gave her all the evidence before she died. She said there's a summons coming. From the EPA, from the Justice Department. Another long silence. David, I need to make some calls, his lawyer said quietly. Don't talk to anyone else. Don't leave the house. Don't touch anything that girl left behind. I'll be there in an hour. The phone went dead. Marcus sank back into his chair. Through the window, he could see the sun rising higher, painting his perfect gardens in gold and pink. But the beauty felt fake now, like a painting hung over a cracked wall. A soft knock came at the door. Marcus jumped. Who is it? Sir, it's Robert. Security. Is everything all right? Your panic button was pressed. Panic button? Marcus looked at the desk and saw the small red button under the edge. The emergency alert he'd installed years ago, but never used. The girl must have pressed it before she left. Come in, Marcus called. Robert entered, his hand on his weapon, his eyes scanning the room. When he saw the money scattered everywhere, he froze. Sir, what happened here? There was a girl, Marcus said, in a gray uniform. She was in my bedroom when I woke up. Did you see her leave? Robert's face went pale. A girl? Sir, I've been at my post all morning. The only people who entered were the kitchen staff, and I checked each of their IDs personally. No children, no unauthorized persons. Then how did she get in? Marcus demanded. Robert walked to the window and examined it. This window. Sir, it's unlocked. The latch is open. They both looked out. Below the window was a drain pipe. Below the drain pipe was a garden. And in the soft dirt of the garden were small footprints leading away from a house. She climbed down, Marcus whispered. Like a shadow, Robert spoke into his radio. All units, we have a security breach. Subject is a young female, approximately 12 years old, wearing gray service uniform. Check all exits. Review all footage from the past hour. But Marcus knew they wouldn't find her. The girl had planned this too carefully. She'd studied his patterns for 3 years. She knew exactly how to slip in and out like smoke through a keyhole. On the desk, Marcus noticed something he'd missed before. A small notebook with a leather cover. He picked it up with trembling hands and opened it. Inside were dates, times, observations. March 15th, 2023. Subject meets Senator Morrison at Bella's restaurant. Cash exchange observed. $20,000 estimated. June 3rd, 2023. Subject transfers $500,000 to Cayman Islands account. Account number 847392KL. September 8th, 2023. Subject yells at employee until she cries. Employee quits the next day. Subject laughs about it with his assistant. Page after page. Month after month. 3 years of his life documented like a science experiment. The girl, or Elena, or whoever had kept this notebook, had watched him like a hawk watches a mouse. They'd seen every dark corner of his life, every selfish choice, every lie. Marcus turned to the last page. There, in different handwriting, neater, more careful, was a final entry. Sophia died today. She was in pain at the end, but she was brave. She asked me to finish what her mother started. She asked me to make sure the truth comes out. I promised her I would. This notebook is my promise kept. Emma Rodriguez, Elena's niece, Sophia's cousin. Emma. The girl's name was Emma. Marcus closed a notebook and held it against his chest. For the first time in 20 years, he felt something crack inside him, something hard and cold that he'd built around his heart to protect himself from feeling too much. Tears burned his eyes. "Sir," Robert asked, concerned, "should I call a doctor?" Marcus shook his head. "No. Call my wife. Tell her I need to talk to her. Tell her I have something important to say." As Robert left to make the call, Marcus walked to his computer. He opened his private files, the ones he thought were hidden from the world. The files with the real numbers, the real payments, the real secrets. He thought about Sophia, a 9-year-old girl who died because he chose money over safety. He thought about Elena, a woman who lost everything because she dared to tell the truth. He thought about all the people he'd hurt, ignored, or stepped on while climbing his ladder to the sky. The recording device still blinked on the desk. Marcus reached over and picked it up. He looked directly into its small camera. "My name is Marcus Wellington," he said quietly, "and I have things I need to confess." For the next hour, he talked. He told the device everything. About the chemicals dumped in the river. About the bribes paid to government officials. About the employees silenced and destroyed. About every dark choice he'd made in the name of success. When he finished, he felt lighter. Not happy. He didn't deserve to feel happy. But lighter, like he put down a heavy backpack he'd been carrying for miles and miles. He placed the recording device back on the desk, along with the notebook, the photographs, and all of Elena's evidence. Then he picked up the official summons and read it carefully. There would be investigations, trials, possibly prison. His empire would crumble. His reputation would be destroyed. Everything he'd built would turn to dust. But Sophia would have justice. Elena would have justice. The truth would finally come home. Through the window, Marcus saw a small figure standing at the edge of his property. Emma. She stood there for a moment, watching the mansion, her mission complete. Then she turned and walked away, disappearing into morning light, like a ghost that had finally found peace. Marcus watched her go. He didn't call the guards. He didn't chase after her. He simply watched as a girl who destroyed his life, and perhaps saved his soul, vanished into the world. In his hand, the summons felt heavy, but it also felt right. The truth always finds its way home, Emma had said. And she was right. Marcus took a deep breath, picked up his phone, and dialed the number on the summons. "Hello," he said when someone answered. "My name is Marcus Wellington. I'm calling to turn myself in." Outside, birds sang their morning songs. The sun climbed higher in the sky. And somewhere in the city, a young girl named Emma smiled, knowing that she'd kept her promise. Justice, it turned out, couldn't be bought, but it could be earned, one truth at a time. Did this story grab your heart and not let go? Like this story if it gave you chills. Share it with someone who loves tales of justice and truth. Subscribe for more stories that make you feel, think, and believe in the power of courage. Because every story we share plants a seed of change in the world. And you, yes, you, just help plant one today. What did you think of Emma's mission? Let me know if you'd like another story, or if there's anything you'd like me to adjust.